making your own strawberry jam, you're missing out. And I've been missing out for years because this is the first year I've made strawberry jam. This is about the fourth batch I've made. I've tried a couple different ways, and today I'm going to show you the easiest and least expensive way. Really all you need is your berries, sugar, a little bit of lemon juice, which I feel is optional, and a couple hours of time. Now I'm doing a big batch. I'm starting off with 10 pounds of strawberries. You do not have to do that big of a batch, just adjust the recipe as needed. So I've capped and washed my berries. Now I'm just going to mash them up. You could do that with a chopper, a potato masher, even your hands. I'm going to use my emulsion blender. Once I've got it fairly emulsified, I go through with my hands and just see, there's always going to be some stragglers. And I just find the berries that aren't mashed up and mash them up. Now that we've got them good mashed, we're going to take them over to the stove and put them in our pot. I have 19 cups of strawberries. What I've done in the past is I did a cup of sugar for each cup of berries. But what I've made has been plenty sweet, if not too sweet, so I'm actually going to cut this down a bit. I put about 14 cups in today. What I would suggest you do is start off with a small batch and put a cup to a cup and see how you like the sweetness. And then adjust it from there. So, what did I say? 14 cups of sugar. 1, 2, I will not count out each of these for you. Okay, now that we've got our sugar in there, we're going to give it a good stir and turn on our heat. I'm going to start with high heat because a pot this big is going to take it a while to heat up. But the biggest thing is we just want to get all that sugar melted. You want to make sure you're stirring your bottom really good because you don't want any sugar stuck to the bottom or else it's going to burn. Now this is completely optional, but I'm going to add about 2 tablespoons of butter because I have heard that that helps cut down on the amount of foam that you have. You won't have as much to skim off the top. Lastly, I'm going to add a 1/4 cup of lemon juice. Again, I think this is completely optional, but I believe it helps the berries maintain their color. Now we're just going to bring all this to a boil, stirring pretty frequently. Once your mixture starts to come to a boil, you're going to watch it until it reaches 220 degrees. You need for it to get to 220 degrees so that it will gel and make that jam texture. In the meantime, you want to try to spoon off as much of this foam as you can on the top. And since we put that butter in there, there's really not that much foam. Once you've reached that 220 degree mark, you're going to remove it from the heat. And here's what we got. Now we're ready to put it in our jars. I'm sure this isn't the best way, but this is how I do my setup. I have my jars here that I'm gonna fill, and then I have this small pan to catch my drippings. And then I have an oversized cannon funnel just to not make such a mess. Ideally, you'd probably use a big ladle and ladle it into the jar, but I do not have a big ladle, so I use this pitcher or mixing bowl. I just dip a little bit out, like so. Here's where the drip pan comes in handy. And then I just pour it in my jar. You want to leave about 1 inch of headspace at the top of your jar so it looks about like that. Now we'll fill up the rest. Now, this little bit here on your pan, you can either eat now as a snack or you can go ahead and put it into one of your jars. We're going to wipe our rims down. I just use a little bit of white vinegar on a paper towel and wipe each of the rims, just making sure they're nice and clean. Then we're going to add our lids and our rings, just fingertip tight. Next up, we're going to water bath them for 10 minutes. I'm using a canner, but if you don't have one, you really can just use a large pot and just put your pans in, even if you don't have a rack. Some people would probably discourage you from that, and it's probably not the best way, but it is doable because I've done it. We're going to place our jars in the canner, lower them into the water, and then we're going to let them process for about 10 minutes. After 10 minutes, you're going to take them out of your water bath canner. I can already hear mine popping, so they're already sealing. But you're just going to place them here on the counter and let them completely cool. Once they're completely cooled, go ahead and check your seals, remove your rings, and then you're all set. These are shelf stable for many years, but I guarantee you they will not last that long.